Hi, Richard from Electric Classic Cars here. I'm at the NEC this weekend at the Classic Car Show. On our stand this week we've got a Mercedes R107 SL, and behind that I've got my absolute monster of a Defender, 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, Tesla powered of course. Over in the corner over there we've got the 911 1973 RS replica, Tesla powertrain, 50-50 weight distribution, absolute fantastic handling and brilliant acceleration. And in the front here, a little Tesla powered Mini, 1960s, beautiful looking thing. And we're here all weekend, hopefully come and see us. And I think later on I'm going to go for a little bit of a wander, find 5 cars in the show that I really would like to convert myself. Right, first car on my top 5 cars I'd like to convert here at the show, the iconic GT40. Awesome Le Mans winning car from the 1960s. There's a Mark 1 here, a Mark 2 over there. I would just love to make this thing go ridiculously quick. 4-wheel drive, I put a motor in the front, and there's one over here with the engine bay open. Come and have a look over here. Beautiful colours, it'd have to be Gulf colours for me. Take the V8 lump out, I think we'd have to go definitely with a Tesla motor at the rear, hanging over the rear. Leave us a load of space where the V8 is for a battery pack there, nice and central weight, another motor up front, and it would be absolutely brutally quick with 4-wheel drive. So number 5 on the list is GT40. Can't walk past this without giving this a double thumbs up. This is so cool. Hillman in, awesome. Right, next on my list, number 4, is a beach buggy. Now I've had all sorts of VWs over my life, from Beetles, buses, even like Porsche 914s, which people think of Volkswagens really. I've had probably most of the Volkswagen range in the 1960s and 70s. Never had a beach buggy. I helped a mate build one once, but never had one. Always hankered after one, and I've spotted this absolutely beautiful example here in the show. A month ago apparently, he pulled this out of a garage. It was absolutely knackered, and he's had a month to get it restored to this condition. It's beautiful. Lime green paint really catches your eye. And the thing I like about beach buggies is they're so sparse and utilitarian. If you look inside this one, all it's got is 2 seats, a steering wheel and some pedals. It's just beautiful. So it's got a shortened chassis on this. So basically what you do with a VW floor pan is you shorten the floor pan, and then the fiberglass body goes on top. It's got a light bar on the front, no back seats, lovely little half cage here, and at the back you've got that iconic VW Beetle engine with a Stinger, Stinger exhaust coming up here. And obviously, if I was going to convert this, it would have to be some kind of motor on the back with just a bit of wow factor, just a bit of billet aluminium bling on the motor, a little battery pack probably where that non-back seat is, and a little bit of a battery pack where the petrol tank is up front. But I would keep it as sparse and as simple as this is, without real show-stopping paint. So number 4 on my list is going to be the iconic beach buggy. This is a bit of me, definitely a bit of me, and really rare, a right-hand drive tracker as well. Awesome, really nice. Right, number 3 on the list for me is the Toyota Celica, or Celica, depending on where you are in the world. I've always had a soft spot for these cars. They just look so mean and awesome. This is a 1972 model. That's actually a Japanese import. I just love this like styling of some of the things like this grille. You can tell it's a Japanese import because it's got the mirrors here. It's got a 1600 engine up front, so you got a lump there, a gearbox prop shaft, solid axle at the rear. So essentially that would probably mean that we put a motor there through a transfer box or a reduction box in the middle through to the prop. Battery pack up front and the rear. But I mean, look at the styling of the car, it's awesome. It's just lovely little touches as well, like you've got pillarless windows, a bit like the BMW E9 and other cars as well. I just love that effect there. And it's just the overall 1970s styling. I mean, this is a 72 car and the styling on it is just fantastic. And as you come around to the back, it's got a little sort of duck-tailed spoiler as well, which I used to have on my Porsche 914 rally car. This is a Japanese spec, as I said. You've got the Japanese rear lights, and look at this. Awesome, just that feature, ideal for a Charger to go in there. And actually, if you compare that to the 1976 model just behind us here, you'll see some of the differences. So look at the rear lights here. You've got the UK spec rear lights, and unfortunately, there's no ideal sort of like filler flap here. But if you look around on the side here, you'll see this beautiful sculpted like filler cap there, which is just crying out for a charging socket behind it. So number 3 on the list for me, the Toyota Celica or Celica. For me, the best custom car of the whole show is going to be this pickup truck. It's just super cool. Come over to the deck. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. Nice. Right, number 2 on the top 5 list is the Escort Mark 1, the iconic Escort Mark 1. Now, when I was rallying for about 7 years in the British Historic Rally Championship, this was a car that kicked my ass a lot. And I would love to get my hands on one of these and convert it to electric. Probably go 4-wheel drive, or if not, keep it rear-wheel drive and keep that like opposite lock sort of like action going on. But I just would love to convert an Escort Mark 1 in this spec. So kind of like Group 4, sort of like original bubble arches on it, with the mini light wheels on it, and just keep that whole like rally look to it. And this is a fantastic example of it. In fact, this, although it looks like an old car, it's actually a new car. 2021 build, completely new body shell, and this company actually makes them brand spanking new. If you look in that interior, I mean, that just looks like a new modern interior. It looks fantastic. So we'd probably keep it very similar to this, probably even keep the roll cage if it was made, quite frankly. Massive, huge 9-inch wheels on the back to get the power down as well. And in the back you can really get a sense of the quality of this build as well. You can see the detail in here. And I mean, not quite sure what this tank is in there, but looks like a good sized battery pack can probably go in that space, that's for sure. But if you zoom back, this was the kind of the view I usually had in rallying when the Escort Mark 1 just went off, zoomed into the distance and just threw gravel at my windscreen. So I'll get my revenge by converting one to electric, I reckon. Not all is as it seems. Follow me. That stands for Electric Power Research Institute of Tennessee. And that'll probably give the game away. It actually used to be a development vehicle. In 1979, I think there was about 5 of them made, 62-mile range, maximum speed of 35 miles an hour. If you follow me down here, ignore the petrol cap because it's been converted back to petrol. Check this out. Look at this old school rapid charge port. Before CCS and CHAdeMO ever came to existence, that's the old school charge port. Isn't that so cool? Right, the number 1 car I would like to convert to electric in the whole of this classic car show is over there. It's got to be the iconic Lamborghini Countach. Now, unlike most Lamborghinis that were named after bulls, this one was actually named after the reaction of one of the design team when he first saw it, which was translated to English literally northern Italian dialect basically, and it was just like a swear word reaction to, oh my god, it's just such an iconic car, the poster child of my youth, if you like. I had this on the wall, lusted after it, and then the disappointment set in when I drove it. It was one of those cars that was beautiful to look at, not so great to drive. And with the scissor doors, it's got all those cool features. And if you have a look inside here, you'll see some of the problems that I encountered when I came to drive it. It's quite cramped in there. Anybody over 6 foot just isn't going to fit. The clutch pedal was really heavy. There's a massive transmission tunnel here, and it was just not very nice to drive. I mean, it was understeer, hardly any weight on the front. All of the engine, that V12 lump is in the back. And what we like to do at Electric Classic Cars as much as possible is kind of improve the driving experience and try to make them really enjoyable and just quite easier to drive, let's say, than they used to be when they were petrol. And I think we can do a fantastic job in a Lamborghini, quite frankly, to really up its game as far as a driving car is concerned. So, massive, huge V12 lump in the back, 4.1 litre. We could just replace that with a huge, powerful, torquey motor, plenty of space then for batteries, some weight over the front for another battery pack. So, I think of all the cars I'd like to convert in this whole show, and probably the one we could most improve, it's got to be the Lamborghini Countach. Well, if you think electric cars are new, think again. This is a 1911 Baker electric car, and you can actually see by the shape of it how old it is, because it just looks as if it should have like a horse pulling it. I mean, it's just fantastic. I've seen this car driving around the arena, and it's no slouch, and it's so smooth as well compared to other cars of that era, which like, you know, shaking you all about here, and you can hear them coming a mile away. This just is so smooth and accelerates lovely. It's just like electric cars are now, really. But obviously the range wasn't so good. And the steering inside is hilarious. It's like a rudder. It's like a big stick that comes out like this, and you can see the guy steering like that. This is fantastic. If only we kept on developing these cars back then, where would we be now with electric cars? Fantastic to see it. So that was my top 5 cars on the NEC Classic Car Show that I'd like to convert. What do you think? Do you think I've missed some out? Do you think some are just too iconic to mess around with? Leave some comments down below and I'll read them and respond if I can. But I couldn't finish this video without just showing you one more car, and it's this one. The Delta HF Integrale Evo 2. I mean, just look at it. Well, there you go. That was my top 5 cars that I'd like to convert to electric in the show. Hope you enjoyed that. Some more controversial than others, no doubt. I'd be interested to see your comments below as to what you thought of each car. So that's it for me, this show, and it's time that I just glided gently and quietly off into the distance in my electric beast. See you later.